What's up everyone, Netherwood here with an update video for my Path of Exile Self-Ignite Burning Arrow build. I know I said I was going to make a Frenzy build. I kind of figured that I wouldn't be able to sustain the mana, so seeing in the background some gameplay of me clearing just tier 7 maps for now. What I'm doing is trying to go through my old backstock of tier 7 and 8 maps, because that's where I left off with growing my map pool. So after I do that, I'm going to work up into, 9 and above maps to see how this character does. She's level 81 right now. She's doing pretty good. I still have a few tweaks to make to her and get a few more points. The plan for the tree is 171% life, so hardcore viable, I don't think so, because she doesn't have a lot of defenses. She's an archer, so it's not too bad. It mainly depends on if you can get out of the way or not, really. So she's doing really well, burning out packs pretty good, but basically, and I've discussed this a lot and researched this a lot, I decided to go the crit route to basically try to increase my burn through crit and upfront damage, and that's because I wanted to be able to do Atziri and any other Ignite immune bosses. And actually, the pet, Izaro's pet is actually immune to Ignite too. I didn't know that until I fought him. He's also immune to Ignite. So there's a few bosses who are immune to Ignite, and I didn't want to go the path of burn because I wanted to be able to fight all bosses. Also, when you can only, well, I guess stacking a burn on a boss is definitely good if you have a bunch of burn damage. It's not bad at all. But I just felt like I wanted to go the crit route because I wanted to get better upfront damage. So you can see in the background my clear speed's pretty good. I want to get a little bit more crit. Right now I'm sitting at about 50-something crit in the hideout, and then when I get full 4 power charges, I'm at 70-something crit. So that's decent. I still have about 100% to pick up off the tree, which should put me at 85, I think, about with charges, something like that. We'll know when I do the final build video. This is just an update. Pretty awesome build. I'm really happy with it. The DPS is pretty decent. It's actually, I wish it was a little bit better. It doesn't feel as good as I would hoped, and that's kind of because I'm using Death's Opus and I'm not adding in a lesser multiple projectiles gem. If I did that, I'd have 5 projectiles and it'd feel a lot easier to do. I could get an extra projectile on my quiver, and that would give me 4. That would be awesome, except that's really expensive, and I'm not there yet. I already spent a lot of money on this build. The Eye of Innocence now is really high. I bought it a few weeks ago, so I don't know what it is now, but it was right after a build video came out that used it. So it jumped from 30C when I was watching it to 3 Exalts in like 2 days. I got really lucky and picked up mine for 35C. I don't think you can do that anymore in Standard anyway. I don't know what it is in the other leagues, but it's pretty expensive, and that's really what makes this whole build work, is that Eye of Innocence, because it's self-ignite, right? And that's working out pretty good. When I self-ignite, I get another 60% increased fire damage, which again, it helps my initial hit and my burn. Obviously, it's a double dipper. And then wearing the double Morosu or whatever, let me just look at it. I always mess up the name of this thing. Wearing the double Moku's Embrace gives me another about 50%-ish, 45 to 50%-ish increased fire damage, again, double dips. With all 3 of those, I get 30% chance to ignite, and then plus the 20% for burning arrow, I get 50%, and that's before the crit. So I'm pretty much igniting every shot, pretty much. I also get 40% increased attack speed while ignited because of the 2 Moku's Embrace. And I also get 2% leech with the Eye of Innocence when I'm ignited. And it's only off fire damage, but guess what? I converted everything fire, so there you go. I converted it with the signal fire because I couldn't get over to Avatar Fire. I'm going the opposite direction. I'm picking up crit and bow crit nodes. Those are all the way on the bottom right, so there's no way I could get to Avatar Fire without spending a buttload of points. This build is a lot like another build that's already out there. I drew heavily from that build. There are only a couple of Burning Arrow builds out there right now with with Prolif, like I'm doing here. So it's basically one way or the other. You can either go Fire Prolif build, which you just kind of stack double dippers and you don't go crit, or you can go crit and just stack the front end of it. Now, a couple things I've noticed is I did some calculations, and a physical damage, or I'm sorry, a physical projectile support is actually does more damage than slower projectiles, even on the burn side. So it's well, I mean total damage. So basically, this is how it works: the 49% more damage up front gives you a really large initial hit, and the burn is obviously not scaled by that gem, so it's a lot smaller. But slower projectiles gives you a smaller upfront hit and more burn damage. But the total overall damage is lower. Now, that's great. I mean, for clear speed, I think the burning is probably better because you're going to burn out packs a lot faster. So if you don't care about bosses, just go burn, right? It's much faster. But since I'm firing so often, and I'm usually getting a couple of shots on a pack, or maybe 3, for right now anyway, I don't know how that's going to change in the future, I can generally get a crit off and get a really big damage burst, and I'm probably getting the same burn as you are with a non-crit. I have over 400 multiplier because Death's Opus grants me 150 right off the bat. So I've got a bunch of multiplier. When I get a crit, it's really big. I have tested this with a really nice Fizz Harb. I have a 320 PDPS Fizz Harb on my other bow character. I tried that out. It's actually a little bit more damage, so I might be doing that in the future. I'm not really sure. The thing is, I will lose out on the extra projectiles I get from Death's Opus. So, again, it's kind of a wash because, in a sense, by using Lionized Vision, Death's Opus, and the Elemental Prolif from the Ascendancy, I get 3 extra gems. That's really big. So basically, this can be a 9-link skill. Right now, since I have a 5-link, I'm actually running an 8-link skill, right? That's why the damage is pretty high. So let's look at the damage real quick, and then we'll kind of get done with this video. One other thing I wanted to talk about here, I'm just standing in dry lakes, or whatever the hell this is. The defense, I am capped out. Barely. Barely capped out. I thought I wasn't capped. That's really interesting. I thought I was a little low on lightning resist, but apparently not. This build's really tough to get all the resistances you need because I have so many uniques. I only have 4 rares in this build with which to pick up basically all whatever's left over for resistances. I do get a lot of resist off these 2 Moku's Embrace. I do get, 50 or so cold and fire total. That's pretty good. It's nice. It doesn't really do a whole lot, but it's also pretty low on life because the only unique I have that gives me any life is Lionized Vision. Everything else is nothing. I don't get any life, right? So it's pretty hard to pick up life. I'm sitting at 3852 right now. Really, really low. I still have about 10%. No, 12% to pick up off the tree. So that's going to go up to probably about 4K, which would be pretty decent for a softcore bow build. I think it's pretty good. Again, I'm pretty much stacking DPS. I'm sitting way back. For the most part, I usually play pretty defensive. When you see the video, the play in the background, part of my issue there is my frames are not that good when I'm recording because I need to upgrade my machine, plain and simple. So it's a little bit harder for me to play because I'm playing at a really low frame rate. So that's pretty much what I've got so far. For offense, let's look at what I get when I'm just sitting around here. I've got 29.1 thousand deeps right now, and that's without being ignited and no charges. Let's go around and get some ignite and some charges and kind of see how that changes. So we got 2 charges and I'm ignited. Let's see. Let's get 4 charges and see how that works. There we go. 4 charges, 49,860. That's decent. And that's not with flasks or anything. That's not with, I'm running a Vile Haste, and I've got my Onslaught Flask that I've actually doubled. I'm using it also for running, for a run speed flask. So if I pop that sucker, I've got 55,000. When I pop Vile Haste, I've basically got about, and I pop Edziri's Flask, it's about 69,000 deep. So I think the DPS is there to make this a pretty good build. We'll see. I really want to do some higher level maps when I do my bow, or my build guide, so we'll kind of see how that works out. I got a couple tweaks to make. My gems are not really there yet. They're not level 20. I have to do quality on them as well. They're about level 18 right now, so I've got a lot of work to do there as well. Burning Arrow doesn't scale very much with levels, so I'm not going to get that much damage off that. I did start with a quality 20 Burning Arrow because I didn't want to have to start over from scratch. The extra 60% burn duration is just insane, so it's worth it. It only cost a few chaos to buy in the market anyway, on PoE trade. So definitely worth it. That's pretty much the build. There was one other thing I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, let's go over gems a little bit. So yeah, I've got Burning Arrow here. Physical projectile attack damage, 47% more damage up front. I've got a lot of more multipliers here. Increased critical strikes. when I get that last 100% off the tree, I might consider pulling this off. I'm not positive yet, and putting on a more multi. We'll see. I don't really know yet, because my crit is really not that insane. I might just leave it on. Obviously, Weapon Elemental, 57% more damage right now. That goes up to 59 at level 20. And then I've got added fire damage because I couldn't get 3 greens on this, or I probably would have put slower projectiles. But the added fire damage actually gives me a lot of extra damage. There is fire damage up front, and I can use that to scale the burn after. It does not double dip, obviously, but it just makes my initial hit larger, which increases my burn. Just because I'm not scaling, you know, both, I'm not doing a double dip, doesn't mean when I add, you know, damage boosters, it does nothing for the burn. Every time I can up my initial hit, it still adds to the burn. Again, I'm really just kind of banking on more crit than anything else. I would love to have 95% crit. I don't. Also, my accuracy is at, I thought it was at 90%. Oh, I just leveled, that's why. It's at 89%, not great. I think I still have a couple things I can do for accuracy. I'll show you in a sec what I've been doing it for a little bit. I've got accuracy on my helm, and I really need to get some accuracy on my gloves. But again, this build's really tight on gear, so getting the exact correct gear is going to take a lot of farming and money, basically whatever you can find. So let's look at it real quick. I've got an extra 300 accuracy right there. Come on, man, I'm trying to do a video here. Again, you want a lot of resist, you want a lot of life. It's going to be hard to get that kind of stuff. Oh, is he over here? Where are you, man? Oh god, I'm trying to do a video, bro. Always interrupting. Always interrupting. Let's just get out of here. Alright, sweet. So, but my gloves, unfortunately, they have decent resist rolls. The life could be higher. I really wish I could get some accuracy there and maybe some increased attack speed. I've got fire damage to attacks, that's not bad. Added 30 strength here because I need 160 strength just to put Lionized Vision on. I was just sitting at 100 when I decided to try to put it on, and I had to get 30 off the tree, and I got 30 off those gloves. I'd really like to get 30 off another rare. So here's the tree pretty much. You can go into the video description and get the build link to just check out the tree, but I'm not going to really go over it or anything. It's just pretty standard. Just picking up a lot of crit, bow crit, and everything. You can see I had to pick up this 30 strength over here. I'd love to drop that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. I've got tons of leech. Plus the amulet, I have tons and tons of leech with Val Pact, keeps me up really nice. You kind of need Val Pact on this because, again, I'm taking 25 damage every time I ignite somebody, and if I ignite a whole pack, it's, you know, 15 dudes at 25 each. Val Pact really helps a lot. Also, I just picked up the Liege of the Primordial. I first picked up Prolif, and then went after Liege of the Primordial here, and it upped my damage like ridiculous. It's insane. You also get a lot of accuracy and crit off the Ice Golem, so I went with that. First, I had the Fire Golem, and then I picked up the Ice Golem as a secondary here for the 60% increased accuracy and the crit chance. So that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm going to keep working on her. I want to get her into some higher maps, maybe get a couple of kills. I need to learn that Zeri fight. I've actually never done it, but I'd like to get in that Zeri kill with her and show you that, and we will see how she works out later. Then I'm going to go back to all my other builds and kind of rebuild them. I've learned a lot about the game, and so I want to kind of rebuild those builds and maybe make them even better. So let me know what you think again, and as always, everyone, stay frosty.